Hello, friends. It's that time of the year when I look back to the day when I decided to pursue financial independence. And it was 8 years ago that I gathered the courage to start walking upon this path towards financial independence. Oh my God, 8 years. So, yes, I've been at it for 8 years now. It started with, me losing my job and realizing that I don't have anything to fall back on. And it was such a painful situation to be in. I was agonizing over every little thing. I couldn't breathe. I was like in a fight or flight mode all the time. I just couldn't breathe, and I couldn't breathe for so many years because I just didn't want to feel that pain where one does not have any financial security. And I agonized for a couple of years, and I prayed to God, and I prayed to God that God give me one more chance, and this time I will make a difference. This time I will do things right. And I promised myself that I will never again in my life feel the way that I was feeling 8 years ago. And I can honestly say that's the best decision that I made. That I finally determined to walk towards financial independence. It's it's quite a while, 8 years is a big chunk of one's life. And needless to say that these 8 years have been extremely transformative. I am totally a different person than I used to be 8 years ago. I was always chasing the shiny things, the new movie, the new restaurant, the new bar, new clothes, new shoes, friends, girls. And yes, I was very spontaneous, but very naive. And what would happen would be that at the end of the month, there was too much month more than the money. So at the end of the month, we were poor, and at the beginning of the month, we were rich. Monday to Fridays, we worked hard, and then Fridays, Saturdays, we partied hard. But the end result was that I was broke. I did not have a safety net to fall back on. And it's not that I wasn't aware of it, but I was always so idiotically optimistic that I will keep doing well, I will keep earning more, I will keep earning more, and I will take care of everything. But then it suddenly came into focus how the path that I was on wasn't a path towards success. So I guess The most crucial change in my thinking that happened was that before that I was like a know-it-all. Oh, I know, I've seen it, I know what's going on. You don't need to tell me anything. But then when I found myself broke, I was, I felt flat on the floor, flat with my face on the floor. And I just couldn't breathe. And the transformative uh, thought process that I inculcated was that God, I don't know Jack. Please teach me. Please teach me the ways of becoming healthy, wealthy, and wise. Please teach me. And I guess that's the turning point, because that's when I started looking for answers. And before that, I was a know it all. And it is said that when the student is ready, the teacher appears, right? So, for example, a pregnant lady walking through a shopping mall, she would see kids stuff, toys, kids shoes, kids clothes, right? Uh, but a young man maybe would, uh, someone who's interested in books would see books everywhere, or shoes, in the sense that we always see what we are looking for, right? So because when I started looking for ways to improve my life, my eyes were open to all these geniuses that are out there who've done it, who've started from scratch and built an empire, and are there to guide us all. They have written books on it, they have uh, podcasts available for the world to see and hear and listen to, and learn from their experience, right? So I'm not sure who it was, but one of those geniuses was saying, if you don't know nothing, if you don't know what exactly you're going to do, just copy the people who've been there before you, right? And that made a lot of sense to me. There is nothing new under the sun, right? We've been to the Everest, we've been to Mars, we've been to the moon. And honestly, I'm that 80% common man that is hit by life every now and then, right? So I was hit by life, and I decided to do what these geniuses were saying that one must do. And because I prayed to God, I got a job that was paying well, that took care of my expenses, my bills, and then there was a little left over. So the first thing that I did was I started investing in a mutual fund. So every month they'll take a fixed amount from my bank account and invest it in the mutual fund, and it's been going on for 8 years now. The returns on it are, as of today, 112%. And because I didn't know much, so I fixed a small amount, uh, not knowing if this will be enough or will my expenses increase. However, that was the first step. And that is very important because, 90% of the fuel is consumed at the time of liftoff. When you're sending a rocket into the sky, 90% of the fuel is consumed at the time of the liftoff to get that payload lifted from the ground. But once it has been lifted, the momentum carries over, and then the remaining 10% of the fuel takes it to the moon, right? So that small investment into a mutual fund every month was my first step. Then the geniuses out there talk about budgeting. That's what I did. I would document every penny that I was spending, right? And that kind of opened my eyes to where I was, what I was doing. Not only that, uh, not only that I was able to track my money, but I could see what was I spending it on. The thing that I just bought, was it good for me or bad for me, or was it that would serve me in the long run, or was it something uh, you know spontaneous, like I couldn't control myself and I had to have it, right? So that budgeting kind of made sense. Delayed gratification. If I wanted to buy something, I would save up for it. So that little first investment into a mutual fund month on month, and then budgeting, made me realize that I could save a little more. With that little more, I started investing in an index fund, an ETF. And as I grew in my career, I my salary increased. I tried to keep my lifestyle as it was, and increased my investments. So the mutual fund monthly, that was fixed, but the ETF I was buying every month. Like I'd call the brokerage and ask them to buy this much amount of the ETF every month. So with my salary increase, I started buying more of the ETFs. And last year, I achieved my initial target that I would have this much money, which would mean that I could live frugally, that I could live a frugal lifestyle, a little too frugal maybe, but at least I will always be able to pay for my food, for my bills, and take care of the bare necessities. So that target I achieved last year. As of now, 8 years, that target today I'm standing at 1.5 times. So what has hit me is the compounding effect, the momentum, the domino effect. It took me 6.5 years to reach my uh, initial target, and then in next 1.5 years, I've reached another half of this initial target. So 1.5 times, and that's amazing. And it's not a revelation. These geniuses that we follow, like Dave Ramsey, Palapant, JL Collins, they all talk about it. That at one point in time, your money will make money for you. And I just love that. And I just love that. And another thing I wanted to talk about was the sacrifices. So yes, I did let go of a lot of things. Um, Maybe initially I thought of letting go of these things that I was used to, It initially maybe it felt like a sacrifice, but the rewards that I've seen, and not just financial, uh, mental, spiritual, I don't see those choices as sacrifices anymore. I see them as wise choices. For example, I've not watched a movie in the last 8 years, and I was very enthusiastic about watching every new movie all the time, right? Like I was really into it. But now I don't watch movies, and it doesn't even feel like a sacrifice. It doesn't feel as if I've given up on something so dear. No, what I feel is that I used to drive towards the movie theater for an hour, get stuck in a traffic jam, frantically reaching just in time for the movie to start, sit there for a couple of hours, spend money, then drive back, and then forget about that movie after a while, right? So I've saved a lot of time. I have been at peace instead of, cursing myself sitting in traffic. And God forbid if the movie turned out to be a bore, right? And I've saved some money. Then this concept of you are a representation or an average of your five closest friends or your five closest individuals, right? So that really hit me hard, and I was like, I did think of the people that I was surrounded by, whether they were adding towards my success or not. And I started avoiding people who were not, on the same wavelength that I was on. And it's no fault of theirs. I mean, they're doing really well. They've been blessed with family wealth, uh, or whatever it is that they want to do. It's just that I have my own priorities now. I have my own path to walk on, and with extreme dedication, I'm going to walk on the path that I'm on, that is taking me towards success. So stop going out to the restaurants, to the bars. Initially, I would, still feel a need to have a drink every now and then. But then what I did was I'd go to a wine shop, buy some beer, take it home, and sit in my room, put on some light music, and have my beer alone. And I started liking that. I was like, no ego battles with anyone, no worrying about this guy getting too drunk and I having to take care of him. I was at peace with myself. And then slowly, I'm not into drinking anymore. Uh, I just don't like it too much now. Uh, and then I started reading books. Now, instead of pursuing something stupid that was in a way harmful to myself, I was now reading books. Uh, the truth is that I love reading books. I always have. But that was always classical fiction. And I made it a point to read self help books as well, motivational, self improvement. So I was reading books, getting the entertainment that we all want. And I was always also learning something, right? So So in a way, what I'm trying to say is that 8 years is a long time. It's not easy to get started, but it gets easier as you go along. And it gets easier if we build the habits that sustain us towards this path of sustain us towards or keep us walking towards financial independence, right? So thankfully, and I don't know how, but these changes came from within me. Like no one had to sit me down and tell me stuff. I was anyway looking to change my ways. So yeah, I started taking care of my health because health is a huge expense, right? Now with that, what happened was that when I changed my eating lifestyle, my eating habits, my parents, their eating habits, their lifestyle changed, right? Like my father had severe asthma, severe asthma. He'd been hospitalized twice in the past, but because of the changes that we made at our home, like we don't go out to eat, we eat home cooked good food. His asthma has been cured. Can you imagine? Like people say there is no cure to diabetes, there's no cure to asthma and these lifestyle diseases, right? But my father, he's 76. For 20 odd years he was severely asthmatic. He would he would just like I I remember the sound of that inhaler, the motor running. It still buzzes in my in my ear sometimes. He would be there with this mask, the inhaler mask, on his face, breathing loudly, desperately, trying to get some air into his lungs. And he couldn't get up from the bedroom and come to the living room, right? And now he's walking around the block, sweeping the roof. He's healthy. And these are called ripple effects. I love that. One good thing leads to another. One bad thing also leads to another. And therefore, it is always a slippery slope. And therefore, I'm always mindful of the step that I'm taking. I'm taking it in what direction? Is it towards good or towards bad? And what I've come to realize is that discipline is key, and the path to success is very narrow. It's almost like walking on a razor's edge. You can't deviate a little. If you do, you'll fall down and you'll be cut to pieces. Of course, it's not, the progress isn't always a straight line. You do deviate, you fall back, but you get up and you walk again. But slowly, the falling back happens little less and less than it used to happen before, right? So you, with all, with all one's might, or at least with all my might, I clung to what I was doing, right, what was working for me, and it's been 8 years. I started doing yoga. I can do a front split now, Hanumanasana. That's awesome. That's awesome. But yeah, most importantly, I'm making this video so that someday I can look back on it and see where I was at and where am I at now, and hoping that someone else might take inspiration or learn a little and make the right choices. Because I learned from someone, right? And just on that learning bit, like the monthly payment we make towards buying a new car, we take a car loan and then we start making these monthly payments, right? That monthly payment, if that is invested for 20 years, 40 years, that car payment that we make every month, invested into a mutual fund, will become millions of dollars, right? So that car is not costing me this much, it's costing me millions of dollars, right? I mean, it's a smart thing to do. Of course, if you have money, if you have family money, if you have old money, then you don't have to worry about all these things. But if you're like me, starting from scratch, then it's better to buy used cars. Cash down, no monthly payments, no loans, nothing. And that's what I've done. I've not done anything extraordinary. I've done what these geniuses tell us to do. But yes, I've had the, you know, good fortune to be able to understand and to be exposed to these great ideas so that I'm able to improve my life a little. And you know what has happened? Slowly, the level of anxiety is going down, and slowly, the level of peace is going up. And it's wonderful because I used to be like so anxious, jacked up, freaking out on about everything. Every little thing would blow up to be a disaster. Now it's all okay. It's all good. And therefore, I urge everyone to be a little wise, to think a little, and not go around chasing everything shiny that we see. Please don't. Especially to guys, because we shoulder a lot of responsibility, right? If you are young and if you're watching this video, don't screw it up. Don't chase girls. Don't. It's not worth it. You can do without that drama, that constant melodrama that comes along with that. Focus on yourself, on your health, mind, body, and soul. And everyone will come flocking towards you. That's just the law of, that's God's law. I've seen it manifest in my life. I was chasing everything and never got anything. But when I started working on myself, things have turned around. But the thing is that I have evolved as a person, right? I can never go back to my old ways where, there was less control and more excitement and, oh no, I just, I just can never go back. And I love where I'm at now. I'm where I'm at right now. I love it. Financial security is awesome. It's just awesome. Every little disaster at work was a matter of life and death. Now it's not. It's not. Of course, I'm not there yet, kind of, but I'm a little less worried, and that's priceless. That's priceless. And the reward at the end, the prize to win, is not just financial freedom, it's freedom all around. I will not be meeting any deadlines no more. I will not be saying yes to something that I do not like. I will not be shouted at. I will not be burdened with a colleague's stupidity, laziness, whatever. No more. I will be my own boss, and I will dedicate my life towards my own success, towards my own spiritual, mental, and physical well being. And that's how I want to live my life. Not on anyone else's terms, but on my own. And therefore, I am so happy. I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful, profusely grateful to God, to the universe, that I started on this path towards financial freedom, financial independence. 8 years, if all goes well. I, I, I had 8 years ago, I decided that I'll do this for 10 years. So, based on that, I have 2 more years to go. And if all goes well, 2 years later, I will retire wealthy. The idea is that, let's suppose, just for an example, if my expenses are, let's say, $100, and the investments that I've made are bringing in $120. So my expenses are 100, my earnings are 120. So I keep living on 100 and keep investing the remaining 20. So the corpus will always keep increasing. It'll always keep growing, right? And that's my hit point, my target, my bullseye to aim for. The moment my investments, I mean, if I live frugally, I can do it now, but I want to have that buffer and, you know, live a little lavish if I can. Having said all that, as soon as I reach the point where I'm taking care of my expenses and I still have something left over, that's it. I don't need to do anything else. And by God's grace, I am towards there. I'm on my way to achieve that target. And yeah, the ripple effects are too many. Just one good thing leads to another in all aspects: health, wealth, mind, body, soul, relationships. It's just a good idea to get on this road towards financial independence. So yeah, that was it for today. Uh, I hope the next year goes well and I see some more of that compounding magic. And next year I will be back with another update. Until next time, keep making good money.